In this presentation, I'm going to discuss with you the June 2022 exam paper for the subject Selling and Sales Management as examined by the Zambia Institute of Marketing. My name is Savoy and I tutor. I invite you to subscribe to my YouTube channel, Captain 37. 37 as a number, 37, Captain 37. I invite you to subscribe and also invite you to like and follow my Facebook page, Marketing Study in Zambia. In case you need individual lessons, you want to join a group to study a particular subject, feel free to get in touch with me and I'll be happy for us to chat more. Let's proceed and look at questions in this paper. Question number 1A read as follows. Briefly list and explain 5 steps in the personal selling process for a salesperson selling computer software to a university. Briefly list and explain 5 steps in the personal selling process for a salesperson selling computer software to a university. So there's a salesperson, and this particular salesperson is selling software to a university. What are the 5 steps in the personal selling process? Ideally, there are 7 to 8 steps in the actual process, but this particular question is asking us to list 5. What you can do in such a case is that you can add some of the points together. For example, step 1 and step 2, you add them together to make them step 1. Step 3 and step 4 could be added together to make a different step, because it may not be easy or possible to omit some of those particular steps. So what you do is you add them. The first step in the personal selling process is the opening and the introduction. Step number 2, presentation and demonstration. Step number 3, dealing with objections. Step number 4, closing. And step number 5, follow up. So you notice that for number 2, I have added presentation and demonstration and made them as one. Under normal circumstances, these could have been 2 different points. Point number 2, presentation, and point number 3, demonstration. But because this question specifically required students to list 5 of the steps, I had to combine the 2, and you would have to also combine the 2. However, or which ones you combine, provided that makes sense, go ahead and do it. What you need to do is write 5, not 7, because the marker is only going to focus on 5, and these are the 5. Number 1, the open and introduction. Number 2, presentation and demonstration. Number 3, dealing with objections. Number 4, closing. And number 5, follow-up. So when we talk about opening and introduction, this is where you introduce yourself. Who are you? What is your name? You also introduce your business. What is the name of the organization? What do you do? And tell us what you intend for this particular meeting that we're having with you. You need to introduce yourself, introduce your business, what you do, and go ahead and tell us what it is that you want to achieve at the end of this particular presentation. When it comes to number 2, presentation and demonstration, present to us your products and possibly show us how they work. Possibly the software allows you to attach documents. Show us how to attach documents and the type of documents that the system can accommodate. Possibly the system is integrated to other programs, other systems. Hey, it's you to demonstrate. This particular step is about you demonstrating and showing us how the system works, the software, how it works. And this particular presentation can be a structured presentation or it can be a non-structured presentation. And that's a very important point too, because examiners may ask you the difference between a structured presentation and a non-structured presentation. And when it comes to number 3, dealing with objections, you need to be able to respond to the fears that customers may have. So customers may already be using a different program and you want them to use your program. Tell them what the advantages of your program are. Customers may think that yours is too expensive. If that's the case, tell them about the value that instead they'll be able to get over a long time period. If, for example, their fears could be on issues to do with security, show the customers and tell them how secure your product is compared to that of competitors. Possibly the one that customers already have it hangs, and it has got many downtimes. And yours may have been developed to work around such kind of challenges. You need to assure customers. When customers have objections, it is not because they hate you, but because they may be uncertain. They may need assurance from you that should they purchase of what you have to offer, it's going to work. So you must be in a position to respond to possible fears and make assurances. And when it comes to number 4, which is the closing, get orders. The idea here is that you want some form of action. You want the customer to get an order. Possibly you want them to seek confirmation of additional information, or you want the customer to provide you with their mobile number or their email address so that you can provide them with more information. Yours is to end the particular presentation by also getting commitments from customers. That commitment can be as simple as you providing more information which the customer would have requested. So for example, you would ask the customer, would you like me to send you more information on the different types of products that we have? The customer says yes, that's good enough. And of course, if the customer says, send me an invoice, if the customer says they want to purchase, even better. It may not exactly happen that way, but that is the ideal, and that is what we should drive towards. And lastly, when it comes to number 5, which is about follow-up, what we want is to later get in touch with the customer. It could be a day after, 3 days after, at the time that possibly may have agreed, and ask the customer if they are ready to purchase, ask them if they have any additional information that they need, ask them for their commitment. You are showing that you are interested and serious in making follow-ups, serious in closing the deal. So these particular 5 steps are what a student would have or should have presented. Number 1, opening and introduction. Number 2, presentation and demonstration. Number 3, dealing with objections. Number 4, closing. And number 5, follow-up.